What is up, YouTube? I'm gonna start a new series and it's gonna be off the cuff videos going through email stuff that you're probably missing out on. And today's topic is email deliverability, and it's getting harder and harder, so you should definitely do this now. And what I'm gonna do in this video, I'm gonna pull up basically how deliverability works, what you can do right now, and what to definitely avoid going into the future, because I don't know if you've seen it on your email account, but we've seen it across clients that open rates have been dropping. And it's definitely something that is not really talked about in the email space right now. So what we're doing right now is monitoring the situation and basically adjusting everything towards improving deliverability, because in the end, it's one of the most important metrics out there, because if no one sees your email, the content you're sending can be the best, but no one sees it, no one's going to click it, and no one will buy. So the more you land in the inbox, not in the promo folder, not in the spam folder, the more money you make. So this is the first thing why this topic is so important, and what has happened in the past that we are now in a situation where things are getting harder. So basically what happened, and Yahoo changes 2024. So 2024 was the first time where Yahoo and Gmail started to have new email deliverability rules, especially for bulk senders. But bulk senders is pretty much everyone who is having an e-com brand with more than 5,000 emails daily. So that's definitely not that much, to be honest. So that's very important. Now let's go through things together here. So what has happened? Like, what are their requirements? So first of all, authentication, DMARC, custom domains, that's all good. Like, you obviously have it, because otherwise Klaviyo will show you some signals that you are not having this set up. But what's really important right now is spam rate requirements. So you need to be below a 0.3% or ideally 0.1% spam rate. So we definitely have to check in Klaviyo what is our spam rate and how can we reduce that. That's that. Then we also want all like one-click unsubscribes and stuff like that. But that's as I said, that's like, if you're on Klaviyo, you should take the box here. So we now know that this is a very important metrics. So let's note that down. Spam rate. Spam below 0.3%, ideally 0.1%, right? And then we also, if we want to answer the question like what you can do now to avoid the low deliverability, we have to think about sender reputation. And if we talk about reputation in the real world, we kind of know what plays into a good reputation. It's just doing good things, right, for the long run. And same for the email deliverability and the email sender reputation, which is basically the score that all these inbox providers and postmasters held up on you. So what you want to do is you want to have a good reputation, and therefore you have good deliverability. So what plays into a good reputation, you ask? A really good question. So we have multiple things that play into that. So first of all, we know good things is like everything, if a lot of people interact with your emails, that's a good sign for these email providers. That's like, oh, this is a good sender. We should definitely show them in the inbox and not send them to spam. So what plays into that? We have open rate, we have click rate, we have unsubscribe. Technically unsubscribe rate as well, but let's put that unsubscribe rate, spam rate, reply rate, and people marking your email as important. This one is pretty obvious. So the higher your open rate on the long run, the better. So that's the first thing. Then the more people click your emails, the better. Easy one, right? Unsubscribe rate. The less unsubscribes you're getting, the better. The less your spam rate is, the better. The more people reply to your emails, the better. And the more people mark your email as important, the better. So what can we do to actually impact those metrics, right? Because we now know, okay, this is, we want to, this is good. So high, we want to have a high click rate, we want to have a high reply rate, we want to have a lot of people marking your email as important, but we don't want a lot of spam complaints, we don't want unsubscribe rates, and I almost forgot bounces. So we don't want people to bounce, right? So here's what we can do to impact each and every single metrics that we're having here. First of all, open rate. What can we do to increase the open rate? That's first of all good content in general. That's so let's note that down. Open rate, like good content, regular sending. Because if someone, if you're getting an email and you haven't gotten an email from this brand for like a month, you're like, who's that? Like, why would I open that if you're not sending regularly? So you want to send regularly, you want to send good content, because then obviously people are more likely to open your emails. We want to have good subject lines, right? Because the better the subject line, the more opens you can. I think that makes sense. Then, now comes the tricky part, segmentation. Because most brands, what they do is you have this list, you have an email list, right? Of all these people. Ooh, this is awful. And most brands just send you this entire thing. And they don't care about if someone was a customer or if someone didn't open an email in the last 200 cents. They don't care. They send to everyone. And this is definitely not the ideal case, because what you're now doing is you send to everyone, even though they already showed you, hey, I'm not going to open the next email. So basically what we want to do is we want to avoid sending to those. So you need to segment based on engagement. It doesn't always have to be like 30 days engaged, 60 days engaged, 90 days engaged. You can sometimes send to the entire list, but you want to make sure that this is not the usual case that you send to everyone. So send to your engaged segment. Engaged basically means they have interacted with your emails in the last 30, 60, 90, 120 days. That's good enough. Let's not overcomplicate things. But as I said, do you want to, for example, what we do is we have list clean segments. We have list clean one, and that is if someone got X amount of emails, but they didn't open a single one. That can be 15, 20, whatever. You don't want to send those because they already got a bunch of emails and they didn't interact with one. So why would they interact with another one? Then if someone bounced, dropped, or marked as spam at least once, because those people already interacted quite negatively with your email list, and you still keep sending to those. So those two, definitely worth sending to them. And then, as I said, send to the engaged segment, and that will also help you. And that will also, as I said, will help you to increase the open rate, because you now have, like, for example, you're not sending to all these dead emails, so you have, let's say, 35% open rate now. And then the more you send to like 35% with 35% open rate, you slightly increase your open rate, because you have a better reputation over the long run, instead of if you would send to like, if you send an email with like 18% open rate. So it's like a long, slow process of warming up the deliverability in the domain through paying attention to these things. Now let's say click rate. Click rate is pretty much the same, like good content, high open rate, blah, blah, blah. Unsubscribe rate, that's a mixture of volume, like how much are you sending, and then how good are the emails and how clickbaity are the emails, and that also pays into unsubscribe rate. Spam rate, the same. Don't do like weird stuff to get someone to open, like don't force opens, because the more you do weird stuff, the higher the spam rate is. Now onto the next one, which not a lot of brands utilize, is reply rate and people marking your emails as important. This is very, very important, because those two things have the highest increase in sending reputation if you do them properly. Like if someone replies to an email, very high increase of sender reputation. People marking your email as important, also very high. And bounces, you don't want to run into that, right? So clean your list regularly. Don't send to people who already bounced one time. This is that. But for those two things, I want to show you something that you can run. So basically what you can do is a giveaway. So you send out a giveaway that basically says like, hey, we're running a giveaway. To participate in this email only giveaway, you have to do the following things. First, reply to this email. Like a random person will be chosen from the replies. That's really important. And the second one is you have to mark this email as important. This will increase your likelihood of being chosen. You cannot track those people who mark your email as important, but you can track the replies. So you have to manually track the replies, put them into a spreadsheet, and then choose a winner. And that way, you increase your deliverability a lot. Like we usually do this pre and post Black Friday, because pre Black Friday you want to have the best deliverability possible, and post Black Friday everything is going to take a hit, so you want to kind of repair things. So that's what we do to boost these two things. So that's a wrap up. That will basically help you to master email deliverability, so you're not running into the spam folder and not running into the promo folder. So you should definitely do this now and stop sending to everyone on your list. Also, same for like your flows. Double check your flows and see if there's like any emails that have a high unsubscribe rate, that have a high spam rate, and see how you can improve that. Awesome. That's about it. Let me know if you have any questions, and then I see you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care.